Hey everyone, I wanted to talk to you about this notebook today. This is what I'm currently using as my journal. And this really threw a wrench in my whole system this year. I have been using passport size. This is a traveler's notebook and I've been using a passport size insert in here as my journal for the majority of the year until this showed up. This is called the Ehon Note. This is made by Kokuyo, and I actually saw this notebook in a video by Skylar Hand where she was unboxing the May Stationery Selection Box, and this was one of the items in it. And I immediately fell in love. This is not quite A5 size. It is in height, but it's slightly more narrow than that. And it's actually bigger than a traditional wide size. So it's a really weird width. It doesn't fit in any of the covers that I have. So let's just get into this. I've been in this for, I don't know, like a week or so, ever since I got it. I will link below where I purchased it. Mitz did not have this available by itself to purchase in her shop. Otherwise, I would have bought it from her. So I found a random shop stateside that I ordered from. And as far as I know, I don't think there's like any other iterations of this notebook. I think this is how it's offered. If they do make any other versions of this, I would love it. But what's really cool is every single page in here is illustrated. So there's this like tiny little person and she's just walking through the seasons. So it goes through each season and goes through a specific environment, and there's a little bear there and a little girl. And she walks through and then there's these huge spreads like this. And what I have been doing is any of the white space, this is where I journal. And for a page like this, I don't even know that I would journal across this page because I just think it's so pretty, but maybe through the white sections. Now, coming from a passport size, it's such a tiny size, and this is such a big difference. But having all of these illustrations in here actually reduces the amount of space that I have to write, which I like. So not all of the pages are this busy. These just pop up every once in a while, and I love that. So you'll get a lot of white space like this. And like I said, there is illustration on every single page. And I think it's so incredibly fun. There are pages like this, and I would journal in these little, like, I don't know, mushroom caps or whatever they are. There's an underwater version. There are pages like this that are all colored. I use a pencil board. This is currently what I have. It's so filthy. Robin is actually sending me a proper A5 sized one. But I actually find that even on the colored pages like this, I can see that grid through it, especially when I'm in really good lighting. So I find this grid to be extremely helpful because there are no line guides on this. It's not lined, gridded, ruled, or anything like that. And that is a really big departure for me as well, because I like to have some sort of line guide, grid or something on my paper. Oh, this is really cool. So it's completely underwater, and there's a whale head there, and then you get the rest of his body. And I just think it's so fun, and it's really, the illustrations are really light. Sorry, my sunlight is going in and out. You could potentially write over all of the illustrations if you wanted to. I can see the grid through, I don't know if that's gonna come out, but I find that they're light enough that I can see the grid through even the illustrated portions. So I'm just having so much fun in this notebook, and it's just a really nice departure from just the plain notebooks that I have been using. So like here, I would just journal on this bottom half, and then if I have ephemera from orders or just random pictures that need a home, I'll usually paste them over the illustrated parts, as long as it doesn't block it too badly. But hopefully you can see, this is just so fun. And this is like a more plain page. There's just the line that she's walking. And then at the very end, this is the very last page, and it has an illustration from all of the themes that were in the entire book, and it's just all on one spread. And I love that so much. I wouldn't actually journal on this page because I like looking at the illustration. I think it's too pretty. I did some swatching on here. This is actually really good paper, I guess, because it's Kokuyo. If you're familiar with that paper, I guess it's similar. I don't recall having much experience with this brand, but I have inked up some of my fountain pens, and I had the great purge of 2022, and I got rid of over half of all of my stash of notebooks, inks, etc. And I did keep all of my vintage fountain pens, and these are the two that I have inked up. And this is the one that I am currently writing in here, and I'm using the Diamine and Cult pens, the Iridescent. It's the color Robert. So it's this one here. And let me make sure I can see here, but I don't think it's gonna pick up, but it's a purple ink with a green sheen, and the green sheen actually comes through there. I think you can see, yeah. And it comes through amazing. It depends on the pen that I have it in, but it performs very well on this paper. This Birmingham pens has some feathering, that ink, but this was a very, very thick, like felt tip pen that I had filled. And the Noodler's 54th Massachusetts, that actually bleeds through. You could see here, but I find that 54th Mass bleeds through everything, just about. So I don't really use that as a gauge. I'm just trying to use up the inks that I have. I think it'd be really nice to finish a bottle of something at some point. So I have 54th Mass in this. This is a vintage Waterman's 52V in the olive ripple. And this is another Waterman's, and this is I think it's a 552 and a half. But these have the best nibs I have ever come across, ever. And is basically the only reason I inked up fountain pens again, because I just find them so finicky and my grip has been really weird, and these feel so comfortable to me. So that's these both I have used in here and have had no issues except for the 54th Mass bleeding through. And it handles everything else really great. I put a little wash of watercolor there and then lettered in watercolor here, and there was no bleed through at all on either of those. So I'm very, very happy with the paper. I just use my line guide and I've been having so much fun in this. The pages are numbered, which is really nice. So there's 183 pages in here, and I just think the artwork on the outside is beautiful. It represents the artwork inside as well. This is just a gorgeous notebook. I don't have any covers that fit this, so I'm thinking about making a cover, but I don't want to make a leather cover for it. I don't feel the need to have leather for everything, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you this because I haven't made it yet. I think I may work on this today, but I got a fabric order from Spoonflower. I love ordering from them, and I got this one, and it's so gorgeous. I think I'm going to make a paper cover and then cover it with this fabric and use that as my cover for this. I don't journal every day, and so this could take me well into October, I think, given how much I'm journaling right now. So I do want a cover for this, if it's gonna last me that long of a time. So I think I'm gonna use this fabric, and it has these pretty little birds. I have a thing about blue and brown, which is the worst color combination, but I love it right now. So I really want to utilize this fabric. And then what I do is I have this that I got from Walmart, mini poster boards, and they just have a really good weight to them, and I like making covers out of this. I've been making some passport paper inserts, and I use this as the covers. So I think I'm gonna do this, cover it with this fabric using my PVC glue, and sew the edges to put on my notebook. So there's that. And yeah, so I will link below the shop that I purchased this from. Shipping was kind of outrageous, but I just really wanted this book. And I feel like there's not much these days that get me really excited about a notebook or just any stationery item. I kind of feel like I've just seen it all. So when I come across something that really gets a reaction out of me, then I'm going to make the effort to get that item, because it is kind of rare. So anyway, that's this book. Look at that, so pretty. Anyway, I just wanted to share what I've been enjoying as far as a new notebook. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.